Happy Sunday, fun day. Welcome everyone to No One Daily Bitcoin Pod. In today's show, I'll be sharing the latest Bitcoin technical analysis. Also, happy birthday to Hal Finney. Also, Sailor signals impending Bitcoin purchase following their Q1 earnings call. And speaking of the Giga Chad, also, he recently unveiled his $84 billion Bitcoin purchasing plan. I'll be breaking it down for you. We'll also be discussing pro-crypto Dems pull support for Stablecoin Bill the very last minute. We'll also be discussing Bitcoiners blast Arizona governor's ignorance after the Bitcoin bill veto. We're talking none other than Miss Hobbs. We'll also be discussing Senator Lummis claims Trump supports the bill that will direct the U.S. government to purchase 1 million to 5 million of the Bitcoin. Also, I'm going to be sharing some very insightful details from the one and only Howard Lutnick regarding making a massive purchase of $300 billion for the United States and all this good stuff. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more in today's show. If you're new to the channel, it's very important. Smash the likes and go ahead, subscribe, then ring the bell. Turn on all notifications. That way you get notified each and every day when I go live. Today is pod episode 1982. I'm your host, JV. It's May 4th, 2025. May the 4th be with you, young Jedi. And we have a jam-packed session for you. So without further ado, let's kick it off with our market watch, as we do each and every day. Pretty little bitty, took a little step back, but still maintaining just shy of 96,000 at the time of the live stream. Ether, XRP, BNB, Solana, and Cardano all correcting and in the red. Checking out coinmarketcap.com. The current crypto market cap sits at $2.97 trillion. The Bitcoin market cap has been back on the rise, just above 1.9 trillion at the time of the live stream. We got roughly 48 billion worth of volume for the past 24 hours, with the Bitcoin dominance on the climb, just conquered 64% even. Let's go. This likely to go to 70%. My thinking. Ether dominance has been pretty stagnant and negative. Today it's down to 7.4%. And checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours. We got Flare up 10%, Walrus up 8%, and BitTorrent up 6.5%. Which alt, if any, are you bullish on for this particular bull? Holla at your boy, me and Nippinator. And checking out, speaking of the Nippinator, something's got his attention down there. Maybe Gary Gensler's lurking. Get him, Nip. And as you can see on the crypto bubbles, the bulk of the market correcting, and in the red today, only a handful in the green. Zooming out, get a weekly perspective, very similar to today. And zooming out on the month, that's when we flip things, and safe to say 80-20, green over red. And it's been a hot minute since we've seen that. Checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, today we're 64 greed, yesterday a 65, last week a 61, and last month a 28. In fear. And checking out the infamous time chain calendar. We have 154,778 blocks into the halving of 2028. We're currently on block number 895,222, and you can currently exchange one fiat monopoly dollar for 1,045 sats. So you know what to do. Pick up the sats, put down the gats, pick up some Bitcoin caps from my man Sergio over at bitcoincaps.net. Get yourself a custom CNA cap just like this. We also got it in the black. We got the custom Trumponomics, President B caps, you name it. The one and only. So shout out my boy Sergio out there. You know how we do. But anyways, let's kick it off with our TA, aka astrology for the baddies. And then we'll pull up some of the live charts. Headline reads, Bitcoin eyes 95 retest as traders brace for the Fed rate cut volatility. That's right, Bitty fam. Bitcoin fell towards 95 G's, oh no, into the May 4th weekly close as traders brace yourself fool for the more macro-induced downside. Here you're looking at a 1 hour chart, and I'll be pulling up the live charts here very shortly. So yeah, quoting some of the analysts, they say dense longs cluster between 95.7 and 96. The heavy shorts are 96.5 to 97, right around the current price of 96.2. This is according to Kingfisher. And these are the price magnets. Expect chop/volatility as they continue to get tested. And here you're looking at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map for the 1 week. The latest data from CoinGlass showed the price colliding with the buy liquidity, with the majority of the ask clustered at around 97.2. And with the past week seeing multiple liquidity grabs, some saw the potential for the biddy to reclaim the coveted 100K mark. I feel we're most likely going to hit that here soon. We're only a half a God candle away. I project that to happen this week, according to the Nipponator indicator. So I just got to point that one out. But quoting another analyst, positions from 94 to 97 flushed down the toilet over the weekend. Assessing the potential for the fresh dip, crypto trader Macau Van Day Pop said that Bitcoin had plenty of room to retest support while still maintaining its recent comeback. You know what? Don't call it a comeback. Bitcoin's been here for years, peer to peer, leaving suckers in fear. And what I'd prefer to see on Bitcoin is that we're holding above 91.5 to 92. That validates for me the continuation towards the new all-time high. Currently 109.3 is the current. And range support becomes support again. Let me know if you agree, disagree with the analyst. Now, Andreas wrote here, note in less than a month, Trump has pressured Jay Powell and the Fed to lower the interest rates 3 times already. Will these interest rates go lower? Well, according to the CME Group's FedWatch tool, it maintains minimal odds of a rate cut on May 7th, which I believe would be this Tuesday or Wednesday, right? Today's the 4th. So remind yourself, I suspect we'd be having the end of that correction around Tuesday and go up from there. But you guys, let me know some of your thoughts surrounding that. And I'll pull up some of the live charts. We'll do a little live chart action, Jackson satisfaction for the baddies, of course. Here you're looking at the live chart via TradingView, via Coinbase, via 1 hour. You can see bullish momentum currently. We had a big green candle last hour, already forming a new green candle. Zooming out, we'll take a look at a 4 hour, one of my favorite charts right here. 4 hour chart, again, green candle, not so significant. Trading sideways ultimately over the weekend, but hopefully we can continue our bullish momentum. Now that it's 420 on May 4th, May the 4th and 420 be with you, young Jedis. And zooming out from there, we take a look at a daily, and the daily says it's going up forever, JV. We do have a bull scenario on the daily in the red, sitting at price discovery mode, 111,000. Bring it. We also have another target, bear target, just shy of 69. Let me know which direction you think will likely trend here starting the new week tomorrow. And we do get a weekly close in roughly about an hour, hour and a half. So let's look at the weekly chart. We also have the cup and handle target, which has been in play for several months, sitting at 124,000. Now notice the weekly, 1, 2, 3 green consecutive closes, and this is going to mark the 4th in about an hour. So that's an entire month of bullish weekly candle closes, which is good considering the previous couple of months have been bearish, minus April. Obviously, April was the bull, and then previous 2 months prior to that were pretty damn bearish, to say the least. In fact, we touched the local bottom of 74 and some change, and we're already a couple of God candles ascended from that level now that we're sitting above 95 G's, baby. But let's also take a quick look at a monthly, considering it's still the beginning of the month, but already a big green candle form. Well, I should say the candle that you see is last month, to be honest. That's April, and it's really an itty-bitty one forming right now because of the correction over this weekend. But let's see if the Q2 bullish momentum continues in the Bitcoin markets. You know, Saylor did a infamous Saylor tracker post, which most likely is foreshadowing. Tomorrow they're going to make a big announcement. Yeah, I mean, typically what happens. So lots of bullishness. But anyways, fam, now for our next story of the day regarding the Saylor tracker with the Giga Chad. Saylor signals impending Bitcoin purchase following Q1 earnings call. Strategy co-founder Mr. Saylor hinted at an impending Bitcoin purchase, making the 4th consecutive week of purchases by the Bitcoin Treasury Company. The company's most recent acquisition occurred April 28th, when Strategy purchased 15,355 Bitcoin, valued at $1.4 billion, bringing the company's total holdings to 553,555. One company single-handedly achieved 553,000 Bitcoin. The kicker, they're just getting started. Also, BlackRock recently announced achieving over 600,000 Bitcoin. So if you collectively add up their stash, just between BlackRock and Strategy, they collectively hold more Bitcoin than Satoshi's infamous 1.1 million stash, which is wild. And according to the data from the Saylor tracker, Strategy is up approximately 39% of its investment, representing over $15 billion in unrealized gains. Bitcoin investors continue to closely monitor the company, which has been a major driver. And did you know Howard Lutnick has over $1 billion of MicroStrategy exposure himself? That's a fact. I'll share with you that a little later as well. It just came to my mind. But yeah, exposure by Bitcoin popularizing the Bitcoin corporate treasury concept and indirectly through institutions holding strategy stock. Now, want to know what also is ironic? Katie Hobbs, the governor of Arizona, do you know that the Arizona investment portfolio has also exposure to Strategy B? So they have indirect exposure to Bitcoin. As crazy as that is, considering she just vetoed the bill yesterday, which we'll dive into a little deeper later. Strategy fell short of analyst estimates for Q1 2025, reporting approximately 111 million in revenue, down 3.6% from Q1 2024, and missing analyst expectations by roughly 5%. However, the company also reported it acquired 61,497 Bitcoin so far this year, and also revealed plans to raise 21 billion through an equity offering to finance the purchase of more Bitcoin. And in fact, recently doubled that, or I should say tripled that, with an $84 billion plan collectively, which I'm actually saving for our next story of the day. But I wanted to show you the infamous Saylor tracker. Every time he posts this, the following day, he makes the announcement. So again, anticipate a $1 to $2 billion Bitcoin acquisition being announced tomorrow, which means he probably purchased those Bitcoin this week. So yeah, Strategy always announces another Bitcoin purchase the next day. So like clockwork. But anyways, we're going to continue with the bitty news. The next story from the Giga Chad, Mikey Saylor. This is a pretty big deal. Michael Saylor's Strategy unveils an $84 billion Bitcoin purchasing plan. Damn straight. The former chief executive of Strategy, formerly known as MicroStrategy, but there ain't nothing micro about their Bitcoin acquisition plan, so they had to change the name, is revealing another Bitcoin purchasing plan for the firm worth tens of billions of dollars. That's right. In a new thread, Saylor says the firm doubled the capital it wants to raise to accumulate Bitcoin from 42 billion to 84 billion. Quoting the Giga Chad right here. MSTR announces the Bitcoin yield of 13.7%. Not too shabby. And Bitcoin gain of 5.8 billion year to date. Doubles capital plan to 42 billion equity and 42 billion fixed income to purchase the biddy, and increases the Bitcoin yield target from 15 to 25%. That's a hell of a yield. And Bitcoin dollar gain target from 10 to 15 billion for this year. 2025, send it. And in its 2025 Q1 earnings presentation, which I believe was just shared the other day, Strategy broke down the 4242 plan to continue purchasing the Bitcoin. Notice they doubled it. It used to be called the 2121 plan. Now it's the 4242 plan. Currently, Strategy holds 553,555 of the biddy, worth 53 billion and over 2.6% of the overall Bitcoin supply. Saylor's goal, I believe, is to have like 10% of the supply, and I wouldn't doubt that, man. I mean, I don't know who's going to accumulate more, whether it's Larry Fink or Michael Saylor or Jack Mallers' new company, 21, but game on as the Bitcoin acquisitions continue. Last month, Strategy announced it had bought billions of dollars worth of the biddy in 3 separate instances, the most significant being on April 28th when the firm purchased 1.4 billion worth of Bitcoin. Strategy's aggressive Bitcoin accumulation is beginning to draw mixed reactions. For example, the Flow Horse, who the hell is that? I have no idea, but he has 267,000 followers, says he is not fond of Strategy's plan. Quoting him here. Right now, Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy's Bitcoin stake is arguably the largest concentrated position in any globally traded asset by private company or individual. I'm not a fan, to be honest. Well, I mean, to each their own. I'm a fan of the Giga Chad because he works for us at the end of the day, especially if you got to front run him. He's pumping our bags, so there ain't a greater proponent than Michael Saylor. So long live the king, I'm just saying. But let me know your thoughts. How do you feel? Do you feel like there's something wrong there? He shouldn't hold so much, or they should limit how much he's allowed to buy? Or do you think the guy should just shut the hell up? Checkmate, we won. All right, fam, next story of the day. You ready? Mom spaghetti. Stablecoin Bill, headline reads, pro-crypto Dems pull support for the Stablecoin Bill the very last minute. That's right. A group of U.S. Senate Democrats known for supporting the crypto industry have said they would oppose a Republican-led Stablecoin Bill if it moves forward in its current form. And I guess they weren't joking. The move threatens to stall legislation that could establish the first U.S. regulatory framework for stablecoins. Me personally, I'm not so fond of these stablecoins. I feel they're most likely just a deterrent of the CBDC, like central bank digital currency. So I can care less. I mean, all I care about is Bitcoin at the end of the day, and they already have the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve Bill and the digital asset stockpile, but nonetheless, it's been shot down. Per the report, 9 Senate Democrats said in a joint statement, the bill still has numerous issues that must be addressed. They warned they would not support a procedural vote to advance the legislation unless changes are made. And amongst the signatories were Senator Ruben Gallego, Mark Warner, Lisa Blunt. Now that's a pretty lit name. I mean, we should all spark the bong and strike the gong just because of Lisa Blunt's name. And Andy Kim, all of whom previously backed the bill when it passed through the Senate Banking Committee in March. The bill introduced by Senator Bill Hagerty is formerly known as the Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for the U.S. Stablecoins, acronym GENIUS. The Senate is expected to begin floor consideration of the bill in the coming days, with the first vote potentially taking place next week. The bill has been championed by the crypto industry as a landmark step towards regulatory clarity. However, the Dems reflect growing unease within the party. I'd expect nothing less from the Dems. And although revisions were made to the bill after the committee approval to address Democratic concerns, lawmakers saw the changes fell short. They called for stronger safeguards related to anti-money laundering, tax avoidance, national security, drug traffickers. I'd throw some of those in there. Foreign issuers and accountability measures for non-compliant actors. Talk to Jamie Dimon. The statement was also signed by Senator Raphael Warnock, Catherine Cortez, and Ben Ray, as well as John Hickenlooper. Look at these names. I mean, if I only had the last name Hickenlooper, I would be Michael Saylor. I mean, don't get any cooler than that. Hickenlooper. Or Adam Schiff. I mean, here's the official announcement. Also, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand and Senator Angela Alsobrooks were absent from the list, who co-sponsored the bill alongside Hagerty. Despite their objections, the Dem senators emphasized their commitment to shaping responsible crypto regulation. They reportedly said they are eager to continue working with our colleagues to address these issues. And on April 27th, Caitlin Long, founder and CEO of Custodia Bank, criticized the U.S. Fed for quietly maintaining a key anti-crypto policy, favoring big banks issued stablecoins despite relaxing crypto partnership rules for the banks. But Long explained that while the Fed recently rescinded 4 prior crypto guidelines, January 27th of 2023, statements was left intact in coordination with the Biden administration. And we all know that Biden had the war on crypto, no different than Obama's war on crypto. The guidance, according to Long, blocks banks from engaging directly with crypto assets, prohibits them from issuing stablecoins on permissionless blockchains. However, Caitlin noted that once a federal stablecoin becomes a bill into law, it could override the Fed's stance, and Congress should hurry up, she urged. So there you have it. And again, last minute, it's a no-go. Yeah, man. Arizona Bill, Katie Hobbs, she gets Donkey of the Day award. You know what I mean? Bitcoiners blast Arizona governor's ignorance after Bitcoin bill veto. Now, you know my thoughts. I don't claim it's ignorance and she's just stupid. It's because she's controlled by lizard folk and she has handlers who told her to veto it. It's not because they don't know Bitcoin can help the fucking state. Don't be retarded now. So I hate when government people, like people in power, just like claim ignorance and they're like, oh, they just don't know. If only Michael Saylor could talk to her, it would change the game. No, that's not how the world works. These mofos all have handlers. They're governors, not king or queen. So they have commands, higher positions of power, who ultimately said, no, veto that motherfucker. And she probably didn't even question it because she doesn't want to be blackmailed from being at the Diddy party, for all I know. And I'm speculating, but there's just no telling with the corruption going on this planet. But I digress. Bitcoiners and the U.S. government officials have criticized Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs' decision to veto the bill that would have allowed the state to hold Bitcoin as part of the official reserves. Big mistake, Katie. This will age poorly, Casa co-founder Cypherpunk Jameson Loop said. Bitcoin entrepreneur Pompliano, imagine the ignorance of a politician to believe they can make investment decisions. And again, I challenge that. It's nothing to do with ignorance. It's just corruption. And what's the term I like to use? Compromised. Let me know if you agree. If she can't outperform Bitcoin, she must buy it, said Pompliano. Crypto lawyer Andrew Gordon said, we need more elected officials who understand that Bitcoin and crypto are the future. No, we just need less corrupt elected officials who don't have corrupt handlers who are enemies of the Bitcoin. But I digress. Wendy Rogers co-sponsored the bill with the state representative Jeff Wiener. I'm just going to call it a wiener because it's probably Wanger or something, but it kind of looks like a wiener. Politicians don't understand that Bitcoin doesn't need Arizona. Arizona needs the biddy. Preach, Rogers. Now, on May 2nd, Hobbs vetoed the Arizona Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Act, which could have permitted Arizona to invest these funds into Bitcoin and create a reserve managed. So it's like Katie Hobbs, it's okay for Trump and the United States of America as a country to do it, but you think it's too risky for your state of Arizona? Corruption, compromise. Tell them. Today, I vetoed the Senate Bill 1025. The Arizona State Retirement System is one of the strongest in the nation because it makes sound and informed investments. Who's your financial advisor, Miss Hobbs? Jim fucking Cramer? Be honest with me now. Rogers said she would refile the bill during the next session. Rogers also pointed out that Arizona State Retirement System already holds stocks of Sailor's MSTR. Exactly. You can't make this shit up. Check it. Which is basically a leveraged Bitcoin ETF. Arizona Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Bill will be back. HODL, said Rogers. The stock price of Strategy rose 32% just in April, the most significant monthly gain since November of 2024. However, well-known crypto skeptic, the Peter Schiffinator, sided with Hobbs. Why am I not surprised? Quoting him here, the government should not be making decisions to use public funds to speculate in cryptocurrencies, Peter Schiff. Arizona would have become the first U.S. state to establish a Bitcoin strategic reserve if it had passed. Arizona joined several other U.S. states where similar efforts have failed. Similar proposals in Oklahoma, Montana, South Dakota, and Wyoming have stalled or been withdrawn recently. Not a good look, Katie Hobbs. Not a good look. Now, I'm going to share a post I shared on Facebook 5 years ago today, May 4th of 2020. And Katie Hobbs is going to regret it, just like everyone else. So I shared this. I put, not buying Bitcoin now is a mistake you'll regret forever. Let me give you the timestamp, May 4th, 2020. Mark my words, the state of Arizona is going to regret it. Big mistake, Katie. You done messed up. Shall you be forgiven? No, you shouldn't be forgiven. You're corrupt, no respect. And guess what? I called it yesterday. I don't follow politics like that. I didn't know if she was a Dem or Republican, but just based on the fact she vetoed the bill after it came that far, I'm like, oh, she's probably a Democrat. And then we confirmed it. She's a Dem. So, Democrat. I don't know. It's kind of seeing one and the same. I don't know what to make of it. But you guys let me know your thoughts regarding this big fudge bucket of a fumble for the state of Arizona. And I'll read your comments out loud. All right. Now for our feature story of the day. Senator Cynthia Lummis claims Trump supports the bill that would direct the U.S. government to purchase 1 million plus of the BTC. And as a bonus, here's a powerful quote from Howard Lutnick. I want to make the USA $2 trillion. I own $1 billion of MSTR, which is Michael Saylor's strategy. $200 million of Bitcoin, which will soon become worth billions of dollars. And I have authority from the President Trump of the United States to buy Bitcoin in budget neutral fashion after we sold $5 billion of gold cards and Doge. My idea to Elon is going to cut $1 trillion from the deficit. So the key word here is budget neutral. He's going to do everything in his power to accumulate Bitcoin for the United States government because that's what his job is. And he already shared plans to get rid of some of this gold and trade it for the Bitcoin. There's a lot of budget neutral ways to cut out the excess waste and just put the excess waste into Bitcoin. So for example, step 1, cut 1 trillion. Step 2, sell hundreds of billions of gold. Step 3, buy 300 billion of Bitcoin. Now you're speaking my language. And step 4, on the 4th, happy 4th, force Bitcoin price up 10x. I like how he says force it up, rise it up, fire it up. Step 5, get Trump's successors elected after bragging we made the USA literally trillions in Bitcoin during our administration. That's what winning looks like. Look at that smile. Howard Lutnick has a growing probability of being the single biggest NGU contributor in Bitcoin history. And it seems like he wants to. You'd have to be a complete idiot to have zero exposure to Bitcoin over the next 4 years. The direction couldn't be more clear. Pump it, Howard. And we also got clarification when Pompliano interviewed Howard Lutnick. I watched that and he straight up said, how much Bitcoin do you own? And he straight up said hundreds of millions and soon to be billions, which he confirmed right here in his own words. And like I said, he has $1 billion in exposure to MicroStrategy/Strategy B stock. Smart man. Now, diving deeper into Cynthia Lummis's latest info, Trump supports the idea of the U.S. government buying 1 million Bitcoin, according to Lummis. In March, Lummis reintroduced the Boosting Innovation Tech Competitiveness Through Optimized Investment Nationwide Act, acronym Bitcoin. So let's just call it the Bitcoin Act. If passed, the bill would establish a decentralized network of Bitcoin vaults operated by the Department of the Treasury and would implement a 1 million unit Bitcoin purchase program so that the U.S. government could control approximately 5% of the Bitcoin supply. Now, Michael Saylor's already halfway to controlling 5% of the supply, and there's only enough Bitcoin to go around for one Bitcoin superpower, referring to a country. So will it be the United States, or will they get left behind? You know what I mean? Take advantage of it now, Trump. You know what I mean? There's no second mover's advantage here. Lummis said in a speech this week she is particularly pleased with President Trump's support for the Bitcoin Act, quoting Cynthia. The Bitcoin Act is the only solution to our nation's $36 trillion debt. I am grateful for a forward-thinking president who not only recognizes this, but acts on it. Amen. The Wyoming senator, longtime Biddy advocate, says the potential legislation could secure the country's position as the global leader, I dare say, the one and only superpower nation of the world for the Biddy, for the financial innovation. As Bitcoin comes into more usage, its use makes the whole system more secure. That's right. And the Bitcoin network has never been more secure than it is now. Hence, the hash rate continues to hit new all-time highs. And the Biddy price follows the hash rate. You already know. More robust and more capable of serving our needs all over the world. We should be the global leader with this fantastical new ledger-based asset that is in a digital format that is going to be transformative of the everyday economy and puts the everyday American, in fact, the everyday worker all over the world in control of their own money. Amen. Because what Bitcoin ultimately does is provide individual property rights for 8 billion people on the planet, right? And that's unconfiscatable wealth, which cannot be stolen by the lizard folk. Can I get an amen? And again, welcome everyone joining the live stream, tri-stream. Teddy Bitcoins made a post. He put 1,000 grapes in front of you. One is poisonous, and if you eat it, you will die. Every grape you eat, you get 1 Bitcoin. How many grapes are you eating? And this is a fantastic question. It's Russian roulette with grapes, but stacking the Biddy. I had to chime in, like, for me, risking losing your life is not worth it, especially as a parent, under no circumstance. Even if there's a quarter of 1% chance of it happening, I'd be like, hell no. So I wrote 0. Thank God I started stacking Bitcoin started stacking the sats long ago. You know what I mean? But that's crazy. A lot of people are like, I'd go with 25, 100. Like, geez Louise, you guys value your life? For Christ's sake.